What's up, guys? Paul from the Sysadmin channel, bringing you the best tips and tools for your sysadmin journey. In this video, we're going to cover how to enable remote desktop using group policy. Let's get started. So I'm here in my 2012 R2 domain controller, and the first thing we're going to do is open up Group Policy Management Console so we can create the actual policy. So as soon as it opens up, it should bring us to the Group Policy Objects folder. From there, we're going to go ahead and right-click and select New to create a new object. And we're going to give it the name of Enable Remote Desktop. That way it gives us a pretty good idea of what it actually is. So once that has been created, we'll go ahead and right-click that object, select Edit. And here is the part where we can modify the actual policy. So I'm going to expand this just so we have a better view of what it is. And we're going to start off by enabling the firewall rule within group policy to allow the port for remote desktop to go through. So in order to do that, we'll go to Computer Configuration, Policies, Windows Settings, Security Settings, Advanced Firewall or Windows Firewall with Advanced Security, and we'll go ahead and create a new inbound port, a new inbound rule. So for this rule, we'll select port, and then we'll want to enable the port 3389, which is the default port for our remote desktop. So I'll go ahead and select that there. I'll go ahead and allow the connection, and then here I'll unselect public because I don't want I don't want that port to go through on a public network. And for the name, we'll give it something relevant like Enable Remote Desktop. Once that's done, we'll go ahead and click Finish. And that's that for the firewall rule. Next up, we'll want to configure the policy for remote desktop session host as well as the network level authentication just for that added security. So in order to do that, we'll go to Administrative Templates, Windows Components. We'll go ahead and press R here for remote desktop services, and then we'll expand that. From there, we'll click on Remote Desktop Session Host and then Connections. And then we'll want to allow users to connect remotely using remote desktop services. So if I double click on it, I should be able to select enabled and then OK. So now that the policy is enabled, we'll head on over to the left-hand side here and select security. And then from there, we're going to want to enable require user authentication for remote connections by using network level authentication. Oof, that was a tongue twister there. So once we have that enabled, we're pretty much done as far as enabling policies. So we'll go ahead and close the policy editor. And next up, we're actually going to want to enable the policy on an OU. So we'll right click our server's OU, select link an existing GPO, and then we'll look for our remote desktop policy that we created. So if we expand our server's OU and select the enable remote desktop policy, we can see that it is enabled here on the server's OU. If I click on details, it does show enabled as a GPO status. And on the settings, I'll just go ahead and expand these so you can see what the policy actually looks like. So now that we got the policy enabled, we're going to actually want to test it to see if our policy works. So in order to do that, I'll open up a PowerShell window and we're going to invoke a GPO update on a remote computer. So in order to do that, we'll go ahead and type invoke-command with a computer parameter of pack-fso1 and a script block of GPO update / force. So that's just telling the remote computer to do a GPO update force. And now that the policy has been applied, we'll go ahead and type in mstsc and then pack-fso1 since that's the computer we applied the policy on. So if I go ahead and enter my credentials, we do see that the policy is enabled and working, and I am able to remote into my server. So that's about it for today, guys. Thanks a lot for joining me in this video. Once again, my name's Paul from the Sysadmin channel, signing out.